John Beaudin from Rock History Music. How are you? A lot of folks have been asking me to cover this story because a lot of folks are talking about this story. Ticket prices. Where we're looking at a tough situation for a lot of people financially, getting out there, paying for groceries, paying for your car, paying for your house. If you're lucky enough to have one or to keep one, it's difficult. So I thought a little while about the title of this video, but fans are raging about those high ticket prices. A lot of folks want to go see Bruce Springsteen. I've never seen Springsteen. I remember he came to places I've lived before, and a lot of times it was because I was an evening announcer and couldn't go or couldn't take the night off, or I didn't want to spend 40 hours at a concert. No, his concerts are long. He does give you, the good thing about Springsteen, he gives you a lot for the money. He really, really does. Puts on an amazing show, but Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing are having some tickets range from $4,000 to $5,000 a seat to see Springsteen. Now, for me, my limit for any concert, I don't know about you, but my limit for a concert, hey, Melody, nice to have you on here. Mark Burchett, good morning, John. Thank you. You guys are always so supportive. But the line for me is $200. And usually I can't afford that. And it's just too much for us. Living off YouTube, you have a month like this and then a month like that. It's really unstable. And people are unstable in general with what's happening in the world. Everything is costing us more money. Now, Springsteen's manager came out in defense. We're going to read that in a second. And you can imagine folks are still, they're mad. They're really mad. They're going, after I pay for the rent and the car and kids and going back to school, what's left? And a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, Steve Van Zandt, who's in the band, said, I have nothing whatsoever to do with ticket prices. He just wanted to make that, and really the musicians in the band on the E Street Band basically don't. So that's the deal. A lot of people were balking at Adele too, because her ticket price is going up. But before we talk about that, the last concert tour for the band, the tickets were about $400 if you wanted to get half decent tickets. For Adele, for instance, just to get off topic, for Weekend with Adele, which starts November 18th, 2022 to March 25th, 2023, the tickets start at $1,100. I mean, I wouldn't pay to see Adele. She's not my type of artist. I'm not interested in this. It's just, before I get to John Landau's statement, and Ticketmaster released a statement as well. Let me just read some of your comments. El Terrifico, hey, nice to have you on here. I've seen Springsteen several times, but his best days are long behind him. Now it's a cash grab. Okay, appreciate your comment. Sean Rubin, I remember when I freaked out when tickets jumped from $5 to $8 freaking bucks. I remember all of a sudden I'm going, what, I'm paying $5 more to see Genesis or Billy Joel or Elton John or The Cars or Journey and all the concerts I went to in the 80s. Phil Lawson, hey Phil, good morning. I quit going to concerts about 20 years ago. It's too expensive. That is the bottom line for me. I have a part-time job as a broadcaster in Vancouver. I'm on the air every single night, but it's a part-time wage, as it should be. I'm not balking at that. The Bell Media treats me really, really well. But I do that and I do YouTube. And like I said, months are like this on YouTube. It's all over the place. If you get good guests or else for whatever reason, the summer prices go down. So for me personally, I'm just saying that, but for me personally, I can't afford to go to a concert that's even $200. It's too much money for me because I've always got to look at maybe a bad month next month. And then even people with regular jobs where they know exactly what they're going to be making, they're looking at going, well, I don't know what's going to cost for bananas next month, or, the car payment stays the same. Unfortunately, it stays the same. It's a lot for a lot of people because before this all happened, this COVID thing and this quasi-recession, people were looking at it going, it's hard to make a living. And now you've got to, and look at us. We need to buy a new computer. We don't know how we're going to do it because our computer's dying. So, and stuff always happens, right? In our life, stuff always comes in a way of going, oh, I was good with this. Now I've got to pay all this stuff because every month there's another surprise, right? I'll get to John Landau's, his manager's comment in a second. I'm just going to get through these comments. Anthony, YouTube fan. Rocky Stream Music, good morning, John. Yeah, I heard about this. I thought of how Springsteen has always been a stickler for keeping highest prices at $80, something like that. The Leads, Springsteen is overrated, cannot sing. Melody R, I wouldn't pay to see Adele. I wouldn't either. I mean, I don't even know if I'd go see Adele if she was for free. And nothing against her. She's just not my ilk of singer. Shannon loves her. My wife just loves Adele. Phil Lawson, you said Odell, overrated. She cannot sing. Well, she can sing, but she might not be your type of singer. Rome loves Dan. Romy loves Dan? I don't know. So much of the man for the people, champion for everyday man. The AEG Live Nation monopoly must stop. Razor Kisser, isn't Springsteen multimillionaire already? Yeah, he sold his catalog. We're going to show some comments in a second that from YouTubers, and not only YouTubers, but you guys are YouTubers, but also people on Twitter. To hell with ever seeing a loser band and paying that much to see the band. Sassy T, Springsteen net worth is $650 million. He needs the money. Please help. John Adams, I tried getting tickets to Springsteen, got over to a different vendor, and the tickets were like $600 to $1,000 a piece. Ridiculous. Pumpkin King, fools and their money are soon parted. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that term in so long. Okay, here's John Landau's, his manager, the statement. In pricing tickets for this tour, we looked carefully at what our peers have been doing, he told the New York Times. We chose prices that are lower than some and on par with others, regardless of the commentary about the modest number of tickets costing $1,000 or more. Our true average prices has been around the mid $200 range. I believe it's probably in the nosebleeds. I believe that's in today's environment. That is fair pricing to see somebody universally regarded as among one of the greatest artists of his generation. Now, Ticketmaster released the following statement concerning this. Prices and formats are consistent with industry standards for top performers. Where is the quote? Promoters and artists, representatives set pricing strategy and price range parameters for all blah, 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 including dynamics and fixed prices. I mean, I'm not even going to read any more of that because it's just like it's just one of those mother statements, press releases that we blah, 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 you know, like you got. So let me show you some of the comments. Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, wrong camera. There we go. So I have to read this, so I have to bring this down so I can read it. Bring all these things down here. You can't see that. So BC Benecki, seeing the prices of Bruce Springsteen tickets on this tour, I am actually offended. Upper deck seats are $200 to $300 each, $450 to $525 for lower levels, and $1,000 plus for floor seats. Our liberal hero is behaving like a Republican. $3 to $5 million per night in St. Paul. He was not in. Not that I want to get in politics involved in this, but okay. I don't know why this is not working. Hold on. Just give me a second, guys. I know what I'll do. Hold on. Just give me 3 seconds. There we go. Bruce Springsteen should write a song about working man refinancing his car and home, purchase tickets to Springsteen. I got a 69 Chevy with 396 fuel and heads and a hearse on the floor. I had to sell it to go see the boss at Wells Fargo Center. Jeez. Oh, man. You know, these are some of the better comments. Of course, you guys are coming up with some really good ones today, too. Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog for what? $550 million, which curiously makes him the only person who can afford tickets to his own shows. Oh, classic, huh? Okay, this is from Adian Moffat. 442 pounds for Springsteen tickets. Dynamic pricing is disgusting. It all should be boycotted until they stop this nonsense. I'll get some of your comments in just a second here, guys. Hold on. I can't really see my writing here. Another one from Stam Goldstein. Watching the Bruce Springsteen tickets go on sale, I just keep thinking, glory days, yeah, I'll pass you by. Mm-hmm. Some more. Dear Bruce Springsteen, dear John Landau, come on, fellas, you need to get a grip on this. It's crossed the line. Oh, here's another one. From Bruce Springsteen memes. Bruce Springsteen, is there anybody alive out there in 2023? And this was a comment from, I'll go over here. This was a comment from Crowded House when they reacted to the tickets being sold at such a high prices. Though it may be common practice on their tours, we in Crowded House do not agree with any premium tickets being sold at Live Nation. Described it at market-driven prices where the prices is adjusted according to the supply and demand. The band has no prior knowledge of this in-demand tickets, did not approve this program. Our promoters, Live Nation, have agreed to our request that any ticket holders who paid more than face value under the in-demand program will be reimbursed for additional charges at this point. Look at that. Huh? Now I'll get some of your comments. I appreciate everyone coming on today. It really is. I mean, really, you're on this channel. You're on this live stream right now. You have this fervor for music. You love music. If you follow Rock History Music, please subscribe. If you follow this, we present interviews every single that we all grew up with. We look up to, literally on stage or up there. And it doesn't stop with buying the music or listening to our old records or buying the remastered versions of things. You know, we can't go into a record store anymore and get excited because those days are gone. You know, when we were teenagers and you walked into a record store and you never knew what you were going to find because we didn't have the internet. So we'd always be surprised when we went inside and we never have enough money. We never had enough money to buy everything we wanted to buy. You're on this channel because you care about this music. This means something to you. It changed the direction of your life. All this music that we play, the people that we interview, it means an awful lot to you, right? And then you're an adult and you're supposed to have, look at us now. We're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. The thought when we were in those record stores is by the time, not that we thought of it, by the time we get to this age, we'd be able to afford to see all the people. Remember, we were like this when we were in the record stores, trying to buy more new albums that we saw on the wall. Really excited. But if you would have asked that 18-year-old version of yourself, what's going to happen in 30, 40 years, you'd go, well, I'll be established and, you know, my house will be paid off and everything will be great and I'll go all the concerts I want to. Because in our 20s, we don't always have that kind of money. So, well, here we are, right? Well, that was a little rant, wasn't it? Wait a second. Let me get to where I left off. Okay. Oh, here we go. David Carney. Hey, David. Good morning to you, too. Never liked Springsteen, and I'm in New Jersey. New Jersey. Melody R. Haven't been to a concert since 1998. The last one I went to was, I think, Heart. I think that was the last one. Dave Carney. Pay $1,000 to see and listen to Springsteen Political View. Jeff Brush. We're not getting political on this. I don't think I'd dislike an artist for his political stance unless he was nuts. I mean, I dislike someone for saying crazy things that make no sense whatsoever. But I wouldn't dislike an artist because he's of any political party. I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I dislike people sometimes if you think, well, that guy's deranged. That's kooky. Why was he saying that? Jeff Brush, I have a friend who texted me literally 10 minutes ago. Got his tickets for $270. For 200 sections, 6 row lower, and lower was $100 more. His tickets now selling for $900 on OTM. Lip Tech 1. Anyhow, nowadays, too many so-called artists think way too big of themselves. Lip Tech, again, would rather pay to see a local band. Yeah. There's something else right there. Thank you. Duh. Never even thought of that, of course. And we try to support and the idea of go see your local band. I mean, I lived in 3 major cities since moving away from Miramichi, Northeast New Brunswick. I lived in Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames. Well, Edmonton Oilers, Vancouver Canucks, Calgary Flames. And every time I went to a hockey game, usually was when I got free tickets from the radio station because I've been in radio for 40 years. And That's what I would do, and I would always go see local bands. Instead of going see and go minor hockey league to support them. So good. Thank you. A lot of people are saying words like greed. Okay, I'm getting a lot of comments here. Hold on. Oh man, comments are coming like crazy. Okay, Lip Tech, thank you. JD, he thinks Paul McCartney did it, so he can. McCartney tickets were pretty expensive at times. I couldn't afford to see Paul McCartney. Frank Janiak, I wanted to see Waters. The lowest price was $79. Forget that. Melody R, total prices are crazy. Thank you, Melody. She's part of our Patreon. If you want to join our Patreon, the links are in the description. If you want to support the channel, there's PayPal links. If you want to support us in any way, because we're trying to buy a new computer and it's very expensive. Bob's Place, I wouldn't go to see Springsteen if he personally gave me tickets for the front row tickets on stage. Have never liked him or his music. Brad, I have no interest in any tickets to see him. Razor Kaiser. These guys have money and will never be able to spend. So why? Yeah. It's just too. You'd think almost they'd do a situation where they break even on a concert tour, like the break even tour. Oops, sorry. Working Class Hero, Max Mauser. High on himself. Chain Minds Asylum. Springsteen isn't worth the inflated prices. Thank you. Brad, he's too political and I don't go to hear that. JD, we know old farts cannot sing anymore, but greed is evil. Don't buy his tickets. Scott Nickerman 2, thanks for all you do, John. Thank you. The Leads, well said, John. Brad, I like Born to Run, but that's it. Daniel Tidswell, he cleaned around $500 million for tickets for selling his catalog. I won't be funding the rest of his retirement. Thank you. One Take Adventures with Joel and Deb. Well, that sounds like an interesting adventure. What do you guys do on YouTube? Tell me. The guy is a blue-collar poser. I have never seen the draw for his singing at all. I've always really liked him. I like his singing a lot, but I wouldn't, I don't know. Melody R. Here we are is right. I'm retired with a disabled son. Mark Burchett, tickets to pay for gas, dinner, parking, and a t-shirt. I remember seeing sellout shows like Black Sabbath for $13. I mean, times have changed, I know, but Brad, he is not blue collar. That's just a false image. Frank Janiak, I like only one Springsteen song from the first LP. Tin's Dad, 6. Saw him many years ago, Main Point outside Philly. Think I paid $4 or $5 to see him. One Take Adventures, somebody told Bruce he could sing. The Leads, Hungry Heart and Glory Days, and I'm on Fire are his best songs. Melody R, I support local bands. Thanks, Melody. Derek Vaughn, ticket prices inflation is ridiculous. Frank Janiak, he's officially a corporate rock star. Brad, I only paid to see imitation Bruce Springsteen bands. I don't know why YouTube flags some comments which are perfectly fine. I'm not sure why. Rome Loves Dan. The fans are paying the cost of increased insurance in those venues via higher ticket prices. Brad, yeah, greed, evil, and not happening. Melody R, no concert is worth that kind of money. I don't think so. I mean, hell, if somehow the Beatles, George and John would come back from the dead, yeah, sure, but the world don't work that way. We're not, bringing people back. Daniel Morris, done. I do weather drone, you name it. All my videos is one take, no edits. Oh, cool. So check them out. One Take Adventures with Joel and Deb, username, Pumpkin King. I saw Steve Hackett tickets. I have Steve Hackett tickets for December, $45. Not everyone is out to rob. I've interviewed Steve Hackett, I think 6 times now. from Genesis. He left in the mid '70s. He's just an amazing man. He was just well, not the mid, a little later than that, but he's just such a nice human being, a man who cares about the people around him. Steve Hackett's one of those guys who says, you know what, when you leave the world, you're going to remember the beautiful places you've been to. Of course, you will, right? You're not going to remember the cars you drove, maybe the house, because that's a home. But he said, you'll remember the people you met, and how you made a difference and how maybe you wanted to. It's always that Oscar Schindler thing at the end when he says, I could have saved a few more people. I like that because there should be that kind of thinking where I could have helped more people, of being. Jason Sheff, who replaced Peter Cetera in Chicago, told me, he says, my thing now is to be of service. He said, I don't do things for large amounts of money anymore. He said, I'm not saying I even could, but I probably could do a lot more projects. Quality of life is important, of just going out there and helping your fellow man, just doing something for somebody, right? So I don't feel high ticket prices like this. I mean, just break even. Pay the band good money. You've got more money than you'll ever need, or your kids or their kids or their kids. I remember asking Randy Meisner years ago in 2000, I think I interviewed him. Longest Randy Meisner interview on the internet. I said, take it to the limit. What's that mean to you? He said, well, it means that I'll never have to worry about money. It means that, the relatives won't have to worry about money if they're good, if they're nice. It's kind of cool to have that in your back pocket. I know money breeds greed. For some people, power corrupts, all those nice little mother statements, cliche things you could say. But it's hard. It's really hard to be at a position where we all thought, going back to that point, we all thought we'd be at this position, going back to that record store again, where we went, one day I'll be able to afford all the records I want because I'm in my 20s, I'm just forming my life, or I'm in my teens, just got a part-time job in high school with that thing. Even if you didn't think of it consciously, you kind of subconsciously always knew, and later on, I'll have my car, I'll own my house, everything will be great. I'll have my wife and kids, I'll be grandparents, or whatever that was to you. And you look at yourself and you go, but I'm here now. I have a mortgage. Luckily, it's not a big mortgage, but it's a mortgage. I have car payments. I'm not going to concerts. Soon this channel, this week probably, or on the weekend, we will reach 100,000 subscribers. That's 8 years of work for us. In the beginning, it was kind of a hobby, but I say this for a reason. I have so many people who think somehow we're making all this money, and we're not. We're just making an average wage on YouTube. That's why when our computer broke, I went, I can't afford a new computer. And luckily some people joined our Patreon. Some people just sent us money on PayPal because we still don't know when this computer goes. I don't know how I'm going to buy another computer. I don't have the money. I literally don't have the money to do it. So then I thought, well, what if, and for you, don't you find when something breaks down, sometimes you go, I didn't expect that, when one of those things happens every month. So looking at a concert is such a foreign thought to me, and I'm sure for a lot of you. Someone gave us a donation last week. He sent us $200, and we never get donations like that. It's never happened. No one ever sent us a donation for $200. And he says, John, if I could give more, I would, but I can do that. And I want to help your channel. And I'm going, but how many people can do that? In this day and age, it's just difficult. Like just looking at buying a fruit salad, for love of God. Anyway, let me get to some of your comments and we'll hang it up. Martin Pree, the worst are the guys who buy tickets to sell it for more money. Yes, thank you. And with those Springsteen tickets at that crazy price, all sold out in France, and don't think one of those guys, it'll go crazy. Smoke can be, smoke out of your computer, not sure. I was going to replace it. No, it's not smoking. Our major computer that does all the video editing, the screen's going on it, and the hard drive is just on all the time. And I was just told you're going to need to replace it. It's too old. JD, so it isn't about greed. It's for acknowledgement that they were God and still is. What a joke. Okay, I'm not sure if I read that right. Lip Tech, buy a killer guitar and go see a lame famous musician. I'll take the guitar. Oh, Pookie says, Pookie Martinez, Liverpudlian in the house. Frank Janiak, George Harrison, John Lennon. It's not about the money. Frank Medica says, F Springsteen. Mahler guitar enthusiasts, just don't go to the concert. The best way to protest. Yes. I don't go because I can't afford it. Charles Windsor. Hiya from Liverpool, Mr. John. Hey. Thanks for coming on here, Charles. Frank Janiak. You're talking to each other there. The Salem 686. The consumer sets the price for concerts. When people don't go, prices will fall. Well said. Want to take adventures with Joel and Deb? Bruce is worth $81 million. Pookie Martinez. Hey, Pookie. Never been into Springsteen. I found his concert from 1970. He was a rocker and could bang out guitar licks. Him and Joel were into serious heavy rock. William Eckert. Springsteen would be nobody without Rolling Stone magazine. They really liked him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't like Springsteen. I love Springsteen. Love his music. I've been following him forever. But there's no universe where I would buy tickets. One Take Adventures. The only song I ever listened to was My Hometown. I like that song. Jay Carragher. I believe TM and Live Nation it's their dynamic prices. Frank Janiak. I'd consider Steve Hackett for $45. Looks and sounds like an excellent show. It really does. One Take Adventures said, thanks, man. You're very welcome. Go check out their YouTube channel, One Take Adventures with Joel and Deb. Make sure you subscribe. David Carney. Sad when Man for Man does a better version than the original art is blinded by the light. Yeah. Rome loves Dan. The fees, TM, etc. What justification? Yeah. It's difficult. I think there's a rude awakening. And I get this from artists sometimes when they're Steve Porcaro. Remember, I'm on live here, but if you're new to the channel, the majority of what we do is interviews every single day. We have a Lou Gramm interview going on now, Jeff Skunk Baxter interview series going on now. Just a lot of stuff on our channel. So, hold on. Let me just show you. I'll go into all our computers, all our hard drives and all our computers are full. It's crazy. I don't... hold on a sec. Let me just see. Who else we have going on? Oh, Elliot Randall, Reeling in the Years. He's played with everybody. Donna Summer. We have Rascals, Felix Cavallari interview series going on. Fee Waybill of the Tubes. Joseph Williams of Toto. And also Richie Fiore of Buffalo Springfield, Poco, and his solo stuff as well. So there's a lot of stuff. Generation Radio, which is Jason Sheff as well. There's a lot of stuff going on our channel. So if you think this is just this guy coming on here, I mean, I've been in radio for 40 years. So if no one knows who I am, they're going, who is this guy? What's he talking about? Well, our channel will be reaching 100,000 probably on the weekend. It's pretty exciting for us. We have a gentleman who's going to send out a press release to all his people to announce it, which is really nice. But my last point is my first point, which is we never thought we'd be at a point in our lives now being in our 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, or you might be older than that, where we're looking at going, what? I can't afford tickets? I thought by this age I'd be able to afford to go to every concert I wanted to. Every farewell tour. Never would have thought that if I told you, and tapped you on the shoulder when you were in your teens or 20s, that you'd be at this age where your music is classic rock and you're looking back and going, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I know some of you can afford these tickets, but you don't want to. I know some of you can afford the tickets and will go. I think the majority of people look at these prices and go, I can't afford that. I can't justify that. Well, I have to pay my power, my power line, my power bill. I have to do all this stuff. So it's a difficult situation to be in. See, where are we at here? Right? you're a kid, you think by the time you become an adult, by the time your body starts getting a little sore, you'll be able to afford all these shows. And even the albums, you get these special thick vinyl albums. That's the rejigged albums, the remixed. They're $50, at least $50. And not everyone can afford that. Would I rather go on a vacation, even if it's in the car, or go see Bruce Springsteen? Yeah. I mean, my 18-year-old son lives with us. We have an autistic daughter who's 24. Things cost a lot of money. I can only do one thing. If I do something special in a month, I got to do it with something else. So that's the way it is. And I know a lot of you are in that situation where I got to eat. Getting back to Steve Porcaro, he told me, I said, why do musicians tour? Why are all the... He says, because they want to keep their stuff. They don't want to start selling off their memorabilia or their house, because at one point they could afford that house. And you don't know they didn't get a second mortgage, a lot of these rockers. Why do a lot of rockers continue? Well, A, they love the fame. Yeah, we know that. But they're not in a situation like Bruce Springsteen. Springsteen doesn't have to do anything. He probably feels an obligation for his band. Not all of them are probably, well, they're not in that situation. But those ticket prices are crazy. Break even. At least break even now. You've done well. Just do a tour where you break even, saying, hey, we're doing this for the fans. Right? And he said right to the wrong people. I don't think it's necessarily his idea, but I don't know that. Really? Do I know that? No. A few more comments, then we're going to hang it up. Because I got to work on Jason Sheff, and I got to work on, there's so many interviews that we're doing. Lucha says, support new young bands rather than washed up bands. Thank you. Nancy King. A few outdoor concerts have been canceled due to weather conditions. Pookie Martinez. Oh, Cat ate the rat. I don't really care for his music, so I won't be wasting my money. Pookie Martinez. Wally Cleaver left his bone suit. Yeah, he's gone now. Richard Wing. What is the price? The prices are going for, in some cases, between $4,000 and $5,000. Even though his manager claims you can get good tickets for a few $100s. Mark Burchett says, I'm a couple years shy of 60. Thank you. One Take Adventures with Joel and Deb. Best concert I ever saw? All of them. Well, we do treasure those moments, right? Best performer I ever saw was Iggy Pop opening for the Pretenders. Best show I've ever seen, like bar none. I couldn't believe I was watching this guy. I'm going, how does he do that? And he's still doing it now. Martin Pree. I've got to all these comments. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. I appreciate it. Again, how did we get here? We never thought we'd be in a position where we can't afford to see the shows. Wait, we're older now. We're supposed to be able to afford all these shows. We had this dream, unconscious or conscious, that when we get to this age, it wouldn't be that way. But life has surprises and kind of threw us for a big one like this. I never thought Bruce Springsteen or his organization would be charging you that kind of money. I thought it'd be, God, he just sold his catalog. I don't know what his financial situation is. If he's poor after doing that, then he's doing a lot of things wrong. But I don't know. Let's not even go down that road. Anyway, thanks for coming on here. If you want to support the channel, remember, if you're new to this channel, the majority of our videos are interviews. Every single day we have a new interview. And our sister channel has rock history every single day. Today in Rock History. That's what we do on the other channel. That's called Rock History Book. All the links are in the description. If you want to donate to the channel, there's a PayPal donation. We're trying to buy a new computer. If you can't help, that'd be great. If you can't, I understand, because like we talked about, times are tough. You can join our Patreon or buy a t-shirt. This is John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for coming on here, and have a great day. We will talk soon. If news breaks, we'll be on here. Take care.